Welcome, everybody, to the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. My name is Nobodies Jaymes, and with me, as always, is Nobody John. How have you been this week, Nobody John? I see you got the coffee. I thought you kicked that.
Well, here's the story. Made it 2 days, right? No problems. I don't have like caffeine headaches or anything like that. Then my sister comes down, then starts the headache. No, I'm joking. She came down Wednesday morning. She's like, make some coffee. And I was like, okay, I'll drink coffee with you. So I drink
I mean, I
coffee.
can't smell it and not drink it. What do you want from me? I'm not superhuman.
I got to do that at work all day. So I mean, like I'm not drinking as much, but I need to. I want to go for it to know that I'm in control of me. That little magic bean doesn't control my life.
Well, that's the one thing I will say. Every now and then I decide to give up, and then I'm like, I go 1 or 2 days, I go, see, I am still in control. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, I can have 1 or 2 or 5.
Now I need to drink more water, and it is definitely a bad time to like, oh, I'm just gonna forego coffee or something like that because it's cold outside, and a warm cup of Joe makes everything worth. I mean, like I'll drink it at 98 degrees. You know this. I'm like 98 degrees, shit, sweating. I'm just like, can we get a cup of coffee? You know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But from all my research, the water intake from coffee, I just remembered I need to go buy my Mega Millions tickets. I'm not an avid. I'm sorry to derail this conversation. I'm not an avid like Mega Millions or Powerball purchaser, but
It's
it's
so
almost to
high.
1 billion. Yeah, and so I whenever it gets that high, I pick up a ticket or two, and I got the numbers. So I'm actually gonna have to go tonight because they draw. Or I guess I can go tomorrow because they draw like in the evening on Fridays or something like that. But either way, why not spend a couple bucks, gamble? 1 in 300 million chance to win. So basically
I buy a
non-existent.
ticket and then I forget, and it's in my car. I've got a couple tickets that are like 9 months old that I haven't scanned.
You're probably like a multi-millionaire. You just don't even know it.
They expired it, that kind of thing. So, no, I've
But
been doing really good. It's questionable on how the Chiefs are going to be doing, so that's a little scary. I did another couple campaign levels in Iron Harvest, and I've got the
just
backstory.
you just roll right through all the topics. You're just like Chiefs suck. I played Iron Harvest, and the coffee's you know inconsistent. I have lottery tickets in my back seat,
Everybody, take
and
care. Bye.
yeah I need to shave. So that's me. Have a good week.
Okay, no. We'll expand upon that. No,
You just
I've
let's
watched a
just
couple
start.
of. I
Let's
found that
no no
there's a.
no. You see, you're jumping to a next topic. We got to start with one.
Fine. I've had a great,
Okay.
fantastic
No,
week,
no. You just jumped
James,
to a
and it has
fifth
been
topic.
great.
We got to
How has
start
your
with
week been? You
we got
started.
we got to start with one. You brought up the Chiefs, okay? So Chiefs and Packers. We our respective teams. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a Packers fan. I've talked about it before. They can't see this. I got a candle warmer or a wax warmer over here. I got all the Packer pictures in the background. I got my Packer gear.
It's a
I got my
Cincy
Packer glass. It's all the same.
for his
Um,
Packer incense.
it's like a Packer football wax warmer, man. Nothing wrong with that. It
I'm looking
smells
at
like
it.
the sweat of Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Okay.
no. Packers won their game against the Rams. The Chiefs barely won their game against the Bills.
Wins a win,
Mahomes
baby.
almost died. And then you took out all your hatred, pain, and suffering of Mahomes' concussion on my team. And I don't appreciate that kind of negativity in my
I
life.
don't even know what you're talking about. You played first. You played on Saturday.
I know. And you had nothing to say. You text me Monday morning after 2 wins, and you said it's going to be a Bills
Bucks
Buccaneers.
versus Bills game. Listen, I'm a
As
troll. Okay, if there was a bridge near my house, I would hang out
it's cool. You
and
have
I
to
would
pay the
charge people money to go across my bridge.
Yep, I completely understand that. I'm just saying, and we've dabbled on this. I have no reason to believe that the number 1 seed in the NFC couldn't beat the number 5 seed in the NFC. The Packers will be in the Super Bowl. Mark my
Wait. I thought you were talking
words.
about the number one seed, which is definitely the Chiefs.
So are the Packers, but not in the NFC. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Chiefs are, and they are playing the number 2 seed in the Bills. So that game could go either way. The
Especially with
the
our quarterback.
Well, I think he'll be back. I don't think you have to worry about that. It's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be the Packers versus the Chiefs or the Packers versus the Bills.
You know what? Even if he doesn't play, I hope we put the quarterback in there and we stomp him.
Okay.
We
Okay.
squeeze out a win, and it would be fantastic. And it would be.
If Mahomes doesn't play, I'm putting in a 0% chance that the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. But with that being said, let's go into this
With
little
that being
tidbit.
said,
I
end.
you brought this up. I started university today or college or school or whatever. I'm
Oh,
going to North.
today?
No, I'm sorry, Monday. Yeah,
I was like,
technically
I talked to your
Monday.
wife. She's like, man, he's sweating bullets. There are papers strung across the floor. He looks like he's
That's a
trying to
whole
put
thing.
together a murder mystery and he's going through the different crime organizations. She's like, I don't even know.
You're full of it. Half of this because I'm 34 years old and I haven't been in
That's
school for
stupid. Got it.
decades and decades and decades, right? I am stupid. So half of my stress has just been trying to get back into the swing of things. So, like for instance, I had to write my first research paper today, and it was on something very simple. It was actually just on some some wrongful termination or hiring laws and things like that. So I had to research one, find one, and write a paper on it. And so I'm googling like how to format a college paper, a research paper.
Oh,
I
hold
had
on
to
one second.
include a
Are you not taking any classes about that?
no, not at all. They expect most of these kids or most of these students to transition directly into obviously college courses. So whenever you come in, no, you don't take that kind of stuff. There's a
Yeah,
few introductory courses. No,
no, no, no.
there's
Like there's mid and upper level English courses for those credits in communication for either learning how to do MLA style papers and research or Terabin, Terabin, which is more like history papers and things of that nature.
actually MLA is one of the things that they requested. So I had to like figure out what that meant.
Is that what
But
the style they want the paper done in?
yeah, and that one specifically, if I use any quotations, citations, and things of the sort. Other than that, I just have to link my sources at the bottom if I'm not using direct quotes.
I would
So,
suggest, James, as somebody who has 2 degrees, that it is important and it will help you out writing papers not only within your first term but also any subsequent classes that you take to take one of those writing style and research style classes. You'll get some base level communication credits, and then you'll also be able to pick up some skill sets that you didn't have before for writing and researching for papers.
well, I will say some of it does ring a bell because I took a lot of those courses when I was obviously in high school, and this is my second go at the college life. I did one whole semester previously, and it didn't go very far, obviously, because I had an opportunity to take on, a management position, a restaurant management position that paid well, and that's kind of where I've kind of been ever since. So I have no problem with that idea, but I will say the organization of it has just been the first and really only roadblock because the work itself has been really easy. The way that my semester is broken up is I'm taking 12 credits and I'm taking 6 courses in total. And it's broken up into 2 8-week programs. So I'm taking the first half in the first 8 weeks and the second half in the second 8 weeks. So I have 8 weeks of the following 3 courses, one of which is just like I'm blanking on the name even, but it's like
Real
HR
easy, huh?
legal. Yeah, this is the only real class. It's HR legal, and then it's intro to Excel, which I already know and I could have tested out of, but they signed me up and I can't test out of those classes whenever they've already signed me up for them. And then the third one is College 101. So I have a feeling I'll learn some of the stuff in College 101 because it's trying to teach me how to utilize like Blackboard and all the stuff that's involved in the actual online courses. Excel, intro to Excel. So far, I know everything that I've tried to learn, and even the legal side of it. Um, it's dealing with a lot of the hiring, the laws, the terming, the fair practices, and things like that that you find for human resources, which is what I'm currently working on getting a degree in.
So you have a
So it's all,
class dedicated to Excel.
yep.
That's funny. So I'm cheap and I don't like Microsoft. And so I utilized LibreOffice, and I had to take one of those computer courses where they go over Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And so I use LibreOffice and its suite of applications to do the homework. And so there's a little bit of stylistic issues and terminology like that's not the same, and it was definitely a lot more difficult than it should have been. And I could have got like a discount on Office suite of applications because I was a college student that I didn't know about, but and I donated like 25 bucks to LibreOffice, but I just remember like struggling to find what stuff was where. So,
Well, that's funny because I have free access to Office and the suite, as you previously stated, but before starting the classes, I went ahead and just purchased it. And then I installed it, and then I looked into the refund options because I had free access. But once you install, you're stuck. You can't get a refund through Microsoft.
did you buy the suite outright for your PC or did you buy like a subscription?
No, I bought it outright.
300, 400 bucks?
No, no, I just did the standard, which was only I want to say it was $149, but it doesn't include a lot of their deeper options. So I think it was 149 and exclusively includes like Excel, Word, and one other specifically. Um, Whereas going through my my school, I would have had the option of getting like the full suite for completely free. So
Yeah.
whatever, mistakes were made, but now
Hey
I have
man,
it.
tax write-off.
Yeah, that's true.
Just add
And
that on there.
all in all, again, I'm going to a technical college right now. I'm going to get my associate's degree through a technical college, and then I'll jump into a full university after that. And like I said, my plan is to test out of somewhere in the ballpark now that I've researched the actual classes, about 7 different courses, and I'll save myself anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 just by doing that, and not including books, of course. So I'll just knock those out. But like I said, this first series of classes is pretty easy. It's just getting acclimated to Blackboard, getting acclimated to the time that it's going to take to be able to uh, do the work because I'm used to working 50, 60 hours a week, coming home, spending some time with the family, and then having time to exercise, having time to have downtime, play video games or whatever the case is. And once I get a good understanding, I mean, I spent the first 6 hours of today working through one week's classes because the syllabus and the way that these 8-week programs is working is I mean, it's pretty long. I had to write 3 to 5 page papers today. I had to read 3 chapters out of, and this is all for one class, one book. I had to read, obviously, do the research for the papers. I had to communicate through the message boards and stuff because online you're just completely on your own
Yeah,
and
I
trying to
couldn't
figure
do
it
that.
out.
I took hybrid classes and online courses when I was over in Germany because the semesters don't work out, and I am not an online learner. I am not an online. I'm not very good online because I procrastinate and I despise it. So,
Well, the good thing is it comes again with the checklist, and I mean, just the syllabus, for instance, just to put it out here. Not that you can even really make this out, but it comes with a checklist specifically. So once I actually complete the task, I'm a big checklist guy. You put me in a video game like a Far Cry game or something like that. I like that checklist of things that you need to knock out, and that's exactly what's working out for me in this session so far in week one. Which I mean,
and you're trying to bust that
I've
out one
completed.
day.
Well, not necessarily one day. I did I probably put 10 hours in this week, and I'm going to put another 6 or so hours in tomorrow. And now starting tomorrow, I'm working on next week's assignments. So we'll see how far I can get into that, and then I'll be up just a little bit. I hope to finish all 3 of my courses in 7 weeks, and then I'll have a week to hopefully focus on testing out of some of the courses that I'm planning on working out. And we'll see where that gets me. Like I said, it's a process. It's a whole new organization, understanding. Plus, I'm trying to get into a more consistent regimen of going to bed at 10 o'clock so I can get up and get my exercise out of the way before work. So that way, after work, I can come home, eat dinner, spend a couple hours with my kids, and then focus on a couple of hours of schooling each day. Even if I don't need to do it each day, I'd be able to have the time to do it if need be. And I want to get into that consistent, like I said, regimen. But we'll see where that takes me.
Yeah.
One other one other thing that's kind of fun is I decided I did my schoolwork today. I did my run, which I only ran 2 miles 2 days ago, so I wanted to get back on track. So I ran 4 miles today, and I walked 2 miles, and I did weights to just get everything back on track. And then I was like, I need a haircut, so I went and I cut my hair, um, which I don't know where you fall. I think your wife cut your hair, right?
Yeah, she does.
Well,
Begrudgingly.
I've been cutting my own hair because one time, years and years and years ago, my wife helped me, but it was the neckline that she helped me with, and it just kind of it started out here and it worked its way up unevenly until it was halfway up my head. And I was just like, we're not playing that game anymore. So I just started cutting my own hair, and this is the first time since this whole COVID outbreak, and I've been cutting my hair. But
Doesn't look so bad, so I think it looks
well,
good.
I did a terrible job. It generally looked awful. I came downstairs. Now you see you're looking around and you're giving me these half-hearted compliments. I came downstairs and I sat down next to my wife and I was I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a very vain person.
Oh, I know.
I, I care more about what my physical appearance is than just about anything else in the world. And I said, "Yeah, I cut my hair. I fucked it up. I need to go get a haircut." She's like, "Well, you've got tomorrow off." I was like, "No, no. I'm going now." She's like, Okay, if you think you need to." And she's like, "I think it looks fine." I was like, "No, no, I appreciate what you're trying to do. Stand it. I'm not looking for compliments right now. It looks terrible." So I went and got a haircut. So after cutting my own hair, I then went and paid somebody $17 to fix the mistakes that I had made, and they did what they could. So if it looks okay, it's because
You got it
I
fixed.
had because the damage was done. So
Well, great thing about hair is it grows back.
that's
So,
true. Not at our age, John. That's not always a guarantee.
well, then you're a little bold for cutting your own hair, then I guess.
That's true. I can just imagine a 34-year-old James with tears welling up in the corners
Did
of
you
his eyes.
cry at the barber shop?
Oh no, not at all. Just like hoping the the salon is open. Like, please, please allow me to get a haircut. I will kick the door in.
So speaking of working out, I haven't been really. I've been trying to. It's been a
Okay, man.
warmer last couple of days, but again, you get home, you got 15, 20 minutes before it gets dark. But one of the local hospitals opened up a website where you can sign up when it's available for you to get your vaccine, and I definitely filled out that paperwork
That's nice.
because that's what I need in my life.
Yeah, it'll be a good day. Actually, I have a couple of no, I have one manager and her husband. Her husband has already actually gotten the vaccine, and then she is on the list. It's because over 65, I think it is, are
Yeah.
like the first to go here in Wisconsin. So, and then with that being said, we have a new president, John. We finally have a new president. I have a lot to say about this. So
I saw my
how are you?
future wife up there on stage too.
Which one?
Lady
Oh, Lady
Gaga.
Guagua.
Wah wah.
Yep, 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 yep. Your future wife. So you're gonna leave yours for Lady Gaga.
Listen. Madison is prone to accidents
She's not
without
gonna be
my help.
around. So if she perishes, you're gonna be on the lookout. You're gonna be out there scrolling through, uh, I don't know,
I'm gonna have to get
California.
a Twitter account so I can hit her up or something.
I'm
Uh,
s- I'm super excited. Yesterday was my first cheat day in 2 and 3 weeks, whatever it's been since I've been dieting. I came home and it was just I was like, you know what? I'm going balls to the wall. I had dinner, popped a bag of popcorn, had 5 or 6 beers, popped open some candy to go along with that popcorn, watched some YouTube video. I just felt good. I just felt good. I was watching some of that Jordan Klepper Daily Show. Have you ever seen some of that stuff? He's just
hmm
very sarcastic and goes out and just has conversations with Trump supporters. I know they cherry pick them. They find the dumbest ones, but man, it's pretty easy to come by a dumb Trump supporter.
Yeah, it's it's good. The change is good, and we'll see how much we can get done. So, gotta
And
get through this pandemic first.
I know you're not a Democrat. I know you're
Nope.
not a Democrat, and I don't consider myself one either. But I think that
I'm
this change
definitely a
of
never Trumper though. Let's put that out
that's
there.
exact. It's exactly where I'm at, and it's just disgusting when I scroll through because I've deleted Facebook off of my phone so I don't have instant access to it because I just get angry. I have so many people in my life that I used to
That I hate. I just hate them all.
respect, that I've respected, and when I see them make comments, because this is, day numero uno, and they're making comments like, I'm a, I'm a, what is it? I'm a pipe supporter. Share
Yeah.
if you agree. It's like, that's where you're hanging your hat of all things.
Listen, listen. If the
That's
lady wants people to lay some pipe,
I get that pipe laid.
get that pipe laid. You know what I'm saying?
It's it's just I,
It's a dumb thing to support. Like I mean, hell, people get hyped up about dumb things like Beanie Babies. Like what the hell was that? Or that Tickle Me Elmo. So if somebody wants to be like all about pipe, there's a place for you.
I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but that's two very different circumstances. You talk about Beanie Babies and Tickle Me Elmo. Beanie Babies was old people getting into children's toys thinking they're going to be worth money someday. Tickle Me Elmo was children wanting a children's toy that was popular that season.
Or people buying it and scalping it on eBay.
That's true.
The
I mean,
money aspect was always and has always been there.
there's nothing wrong with that. Make a few bucks. If that's the way that you feel like you need to get your jollies, and hey, go for it. If that's what's going to keep you
Can't say that.
getting foods on your can't say what.
Can't say getting your jollies and talking about children's toy. No, 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 no.
Is that inappropriate? I
That
guess
is, we're gonna get a
I
strike on YouTube for that
yeah,
comment right there.
you're full of it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. No one watches this. But the thing that just really just gets under my skin about the whole Trump side of things is that his what he did is he and we've talked about this, but he's tribalized politics. He's made us it made watching, a press conference, a presidential address, the equivalent of watching a football game. So I can sit here and I can watch the Chiefs play the Packers and I can say, yeah, the Packers got you. We're better than you, blah, 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 blah. And it's all in just good fun because it is a team playing a team. And Trump really just he made a mockery. He made a mockery of our whole democracy.
uh, he and I don't know if he supports it. I don't know if it was like subconsciously or there was an actual. And I believe that there are people that probably pushed him towards it. Like he had some okay ideas, in my opinion, but he had some really bad ones, and the way he went about things, I think, were wrong. But I think that the people that he had surrounding him, giving him advice and stuff like that, I think some of them actively sought out to take advantage of tensions between groups of people and then ionize those, okay? And further separate Americans from Americans, and I think that's it's not cool. It's not cool.
And I just don't know how you come back from that because, like I said, even just after a
Barbecues.
day,
Here's the deal. We're not gonna come back from it. Okay, I've already taken note. Like I have some friends, even family members of friends that I was friends with, and I mean, like honestly, uh, I saw them without a mask at the store, and I chastised them on, through text messages, and they're like, it's not an enforceable law. I'm just like, well, no law is enforceable if you never get caught. So, but so I'm just like, I don't really want to be those people's friends because, like, the whole thing, even if you don't think that you're gonna get ill and stuff with the mask, it's a solidarity for anybody that's scared, about the virus. It's solidarity for all those people who have lost someone. And even if you have a 5% chance or a 10% chance of preventing the spread if you're infected or getting caught yourself, that's more than what you had before. And like I
well,
said, would you rather have 0% chance of having $1 million or 10% chance? I mean, like you take what you can get. And
yeah,
honestly, that's the thing my wife and I talked about. We were talking about a local pie shop, and I said, "Well, isn't that the she wants to get a pie?" And I was like, "Isn't that the place that they didn't have
refuses
a
masks.
maskless lady at the cash register?" She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "We don't need to buy a pie like that. We can't support them." She's like, "Is it about the germs and stuff?" I was like, "Listen, if they're not having a mask with the person that interacts with people, then the kitchen isn't going to have that either." And
Sure.
you know,
See, you're hitting the nail on the head. And as a matter of fact, whenever this whole COVID outbreak started, and under the first couple of months of lockdown, I didn't. And we're just talking about my haircut, I didn't go out and get haircuts. And then once it didn't hit Wisconsin as hard as it was hitting the rest of the United States, or at least the coasts, um, I decided to get back out there. But I wore my mask and I went and saw my regular stylist.
Mm-hmm.
She's out on her own. She rents booth space, and she just started out on her own. So I wanted to make sure I kept through her, but she didn't believe in the mask policy, so she didn't wear a mask, and it wasn't important to her. And now this is where I stand. I respect your decision, right? If you choose to not wear a mask, that's fine. But like you just stated, if you don't care enough about me to protect me when I'm paying you for your service, then I don't need to give you my money.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I won't go back to her once this pandemic is over. But as it stands, I'm not going to go out there and risk my life, my children's lives, my grandparents, my wife's grandparents, and so on and so forth. So today, specifically, when I say, well, I need to go get my hair fixed, I didn't call her up. I went back to the place I used to go to, and when I walked in the door, which is a corporate place, it's a cheaper opportunity. She's wearing a mask. The lady that cut my hair is wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. And if she hadn't been, I would have left.
So here's the deal. It's for me, it's not only just about safety. It's about people coming together. Like, yeah, you don't have to, even if you
I,
don't have the fear there. It makes other people feel comfortable. It might even
I
protect
completely agree.
other people. So it's just something that you do to come
For the
together to help out. And so if you're gonna make that decision, I'm not gonna go back. There's a couple businesses that I just won't shop after this.
Yep. For the
They're
same reason
local
as
businesses. They're not the big chains. The big chains, they've got policies into play. They've got their people done. So all those small businesses that choose to be obstinate, they won't get people like me will take note of that and they'll say, "Ah, okay, you're done. I don't want to give you my money."
which it's I mean, as a person that works in the restaurant industry, and I wear my mask to work every single day. I have it on my face 100% of the time. I don't take it off unless I'm taking a drink or whatever the case may be. Um,
Mhm.
and I definitely don't do it around people, right? When you walk into my store and you refuse to wear a mask, or you tell me you lie to me after denying, you're like, well, it's not a law. I don't have to do it. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I have a pre-existing condition. I have a, you know,
Is that
I have,
COVID? Is that the condition you have?
yeah, exactly. And then you sit there and you lie to me about some kind of disease or something you have. You're just telling me that you don't care. You don't care about my safety. You don't care about my peace of mind. You don't care about the people around you's
And you're
peace of mind.
lying.
And you're lying. I had a guy call me one time. This is not that long ago. He called me and he said, "So do we have to wear masks?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "So if I come there and I tell you I'm not going to wear a mask, are you not going to let me in?" I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "What if I tell you that I have asthma?" I said, "Well, then technically I have to allow you to come in." He's like, "Okay." I said, "And if you choose to lie, that's on you." And that's just the mentality. It's
Is that a condition where you can't wear a mask if you have asthma?
my company policy is, if you have
Okay,
a
company
sickness.
policy.
Yeah. If you have a sickness that, allows you to not have to wear a mask, or, we can't enforce the mask policy, then we
Listen,
have to allow you in.
if you can have one functioning lung, and be a quarterback,
Well, my favorite video was the
um,
guy, I can't remember, it was in public, but the police officer pulled the guy to the side and he asked him to put his mask on. He said, "Well, I have asthma." And the cop just pulled out an inhaler. He said, "I have asthma. I wear a mask all day." And it's just, but that's the thing. There's just so many people out there, and I do blame this exact circumstance on Trump. And I'm not saying 100% of these people don't wear masks because of Trump. I'm saying that he helped fan the flame.
emboldens him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
And it helps
Understand.
them sit there and say, well, if he tells me not to, then I don't have it. I don't mean to turn this into an entirely political episode, but it's frustrating. I have a manager that works for me, and she is just so far up the Trump ass that it just stresses me out, because when I have a conversation with her, it's, the Democrats are going to put us all in internment camps and try to detox us from the previous president and all this stuff, and they believe it's going to happen. And there's all these, military boats on the coast of California that are going to help enforce martial law, because whenever Joe Biden goes to take his inauguration, or be sworn in during inauguration day, the Chinese are going to attack us and blah blah blah. It's like, what are you talking about? And then Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing
There's a lot of
negative
crazy
happens.
people out there.
And I say, so how do you feel now? Well, we made it through one day, but you never know about tomorrow. It's like I can't understand.
Well, that's why I put aluminum around my head when I go to sleep so that because they know when you go to sleep, James, and
Mhm.
that's when they
Start
inject into your
tapping into your brain
dreams.
waves. Yep.
That's what they're doing with that ATSC, the over the air 3.0. That's what it is. That's why they're building those 5G towers, is so that when you go to sleep, they inject your dreams. Next thing you know, you're drinking tea instead of coffee.
I don't even want you to say this stuff because there's some. We get
They're gonna
exactly five viewers on every video, and one of the five is gonna be like, "See, I knew it was real. I knew it was real. Even nobody John said so." And I just want to drop kick these people in the fucking face. It drives me crazy. It absolutely drives me crazy.
don't let it get to you, you know. And the thing is, you know what the sad thing is that we as a species have come so far. There's not that process of elimination from natural selection or anything like that. If you're not pretty, you can go get surgery or whatever, you know, or find a kink where there are people that are willing to procreate. I mean, like it's like my grandpa said. He used to say like the world wars were dumb because we sent our best and brightest to go die, and then we left all the mentally challenged and those that don't make wise decisions unfit for combat here to breed to make more of themselves at home. He used different words that were not politically correct, but I was
Sure.
like, huh, that makes sense.
That's an interesting thought. I'll say that at least. But
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it.
it's
Yep.
uh it's a sad state of affairs that we're currently dealing with. And the thing is, and I watched a portion of the inauguration because I think that they said it was supposed to start at 11. So when I tuned in at 11, it was already halfway over. And I
Yep.
think that they specifically started it early just to throw people off, in case there was going to be a potential attack or something along those
Nah,
lines.
man,
Maybe
it's
that's a little.
10 o'clock CST entire time.
I looked it up and it was supposed to start at 11 Central Time. But
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I tuned in halfway through Biden's actual speech, and my wife did the exact same thing. But at the point whenever Kamala Harris is being sworn in, and I know this doesn't mean as much to you, but as a father of two daughters, and my wife being able to watch that section with her two daughters, of 10 and 6 years old, it means a lot. And I actually, again, I teared up a little bit thinking like this is going to be a world that they get to grow up in that literally anything is possible. And that's a pretty cool world to grow up in.
So I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but there was one emotional portion of it for me, and it's not because there
Lady
was.
Gaga, you already said it.
No, I didn't watch her. I
Uh,
didn't get to watch her at work, but it was that young gal that gave
yeah,
the poetry,
yeah, she was awesome.
and it was beautiful, and I was like listening to it, and I was like supposed to go do something else, and I was like, no, I've got 5 more minutes of this. I'm listening to this, and it was good stuff, and I was like, where is she from? Like, where'd they pull her out of? Because this is some good stuff, and she like wrote it for that occasion. And I was just like,
And then you
you
have,
know, and
you have,
that's kind of stuff I consider it like cultural. So I know people. So like I'm weird. I like to go to operas. I like to go to classical music, jazz concerts, and stuff like that. And I call that
that doesn't make you weird. You
and I
put
call
your
that
snuggie
culture.
back on.
And so like yeah, my pusheen. But no, like I like to do those things that are cultural. I like to go to concerts. I like to see Flog and Molly. Um, I mean, like, I don't go do things. I don't listen to all the new music. I did buy a new album this week, though. A new album to me. But, yep, yep, yep. I don't even remember how to pronounce her name. It's Ashinka or something like that. And Sinka. I don't know. It's good stuff. I listened to one. Like, Amazon Music was like, hey, listen to this. I was like, I need this. So then I got on YouTube, watched a few more videos, listened to her music. I was like, I'm buying the album. Got on Amazon, 12.99. Boom. Bought it, threw it up on Plex. Said, this is my running track.
There you go.
Yep. So anyhow, where were we? I'm just like talking about music. But anyhow, culture. And so that kind of level of poetry, I don't really have close. Like to go see operas and stuff, I have to go to like, you know, Oklahoma and Tulsa, which is kind of weird. You like culture in Tulsa or in
Yeah, in
Oklahoma? It's
Oklahoma
like
of all places. Yeah,
they
Kansas
got
City,
oil
St.
and
Louis.
culture. What? So
Cows and culture. Cows, culture, and racism. That's what they have.
yeah, that's what they have. So no, I like that. That's something that I don't get to enjoy, like poetry. And I don't think I'd go to like a local poetry. I just think of beatniks and hippies, and I'm not down for that scene. But like, I really did like her poetry. So
See, I would love something like that to just go to like those open mics, those local poetry jams at the coffee shops or whatever the case is. Because even it's all going to be bad, but it's interesting to
take
ex-
people's takes and stuff, right?
yeah, to explore it from every possible option. And in people, everyone's got to start somewhere. It's just like me again, today having my first um, research assignment. If my professor reads through that and it's absolute trash, then critiques and building is where you go. But at the same time, when I lived uh, back home, uh, going out to see one of my wife's friends' bands, and the band was called Signals, and I'm walking in going, yeah, this is going to be dog shit. And then I'm just blown away by how well they meshed. It was awesome. And one of my this is legitimately, I mean, it's real stupid, but one of my biggest regrets is the fact that I don't still have their album because that band broke up, and it was just a little EP of 6 songs they put together, and it was literally amazing. And I have a couple people I could reach out to get another copy, but it's the principle of the thing that it was beautiful, and it was a small town, and it was mine.
Yeah,
And so the same thing, you see some of those people coming up, and you can appreciate it from a few more angles. So I would definitely be interested in a concept like that. And like I said, most of it's not going to be great.
that's all right.
Well,
We just need
actually,
to get our vaccine on, and we can go do those things.
yeah, exactly. And one of the I was thinking about this today, and it's kind of ironic. Literally, it popped into my mind today, and I was like, man, I just don't really listen to the radio anymore. So I don't hear what's popular
What's fresh?
necessarily.
Yeah,
I don't hear commercials. I don't hear et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then I went and got my hair cut, and I hate to keep bringing it back to that, but they had the radio
it's
playing
your
in the
life, man.
salon. I know. Um, and they have the radio playing in the salon. There's two things I took away. Number one, the radio sucks, and number two, they're trying to make it all interactive these days. So it's like, hey, I got this video, I put it up on our website, so just text this and we'll send it to you. It's like, okay, when do you listen to the radio, John?
I listen to NPR station generally, or classic and jazz, whatever they put up on there. When I'm going to work, when I'm leaving from work, so I'm in my car.
There you
Um,
go. When you're driving is the answer. So am I supposed to be driving and text K1257 to Kissing 92? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any
yeah,
sense. So why are they trying to connect with me on that level? It makes absolutely no sense. So when I hear that stuff, it just is crazy to me. But what it took me back to when we talk about this, local coffee house and this poetry and whatnot, is back at our rock station. I can't actually remember what the rock station was in our hometown. Um, it's probably the same rock,
I think it's changed. The channel's changed.
but either way, whatever it was, they used to have a top 10 local bands, and it was on Sunday nights, I do believe. They did is like a top 10 at 8 or something like that, or top 10 at 10. And I used to go to my mom's salon, and that's maybe why I'm so wrapped up in the salon thing. Um, and I would clean the store on Sunday nights and just turn that on, and I would get to listen to the local band's top 10, and it was all the bands that were within a 50-mile radius or whatever the case is, and that was a really cool experience. And I'll say, you know 80% were generally not good, but the 20% that you find, even that much more special because they're yours.
Yeah.
They are that much closer. Whenever what is it, Twisted, or I'm blanking on his name now, but like the rapper out of Kansas City, Tech Nine. Whenever Tech Nine comes out of Kansas City and he blows up, you just feel like, man, or Nelly comes out of St. Louis. You're like, man, that's my state. He's so much closer.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Tech Nine for sure. Nelly, I'm
Anyway,
like,
I like Nelly.
he's a little soft for me. I mean, like he's got catch, but Tech Nine's
And
where
you don't
it's
even.
at. I even
Oh,
went to
okay.
a Tech Nine concert that came to Joplin.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever seen like real racism, besides my grandpa. Yeah.
Like towards Tech Nine?
Well, towards the crowd. We were all like standing in line. It was mostly, black people. There was only a few of us white people. Jason was with me, and like some SUV rolled up with the stars and bars. It was like yelling stuff, and it was just like I don't know. I was just
Why?
like, I had because they're dumb. Those same people have been around the whole time,
Like,
and
just don't be here. Like, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. You have the
I know.
choice to drive down this road.
Yeah, I know.
Makes me
Yeah,
this
they
makes
had to
me
go out of the way.
crazy.
But like, I don't know. I'm a history major, and that experience in the past, I despise anybody that idolizes the South. I do. I don't want, you're losers. You lost. You'll continue to lose. And man, if I could cuss on this channel,
You can. I cuss all the time.
fuck those people. Fuck them.
There's
Anyhow,
nothing there's nothing wrong with that. It just does, like I said, it frustrates me because this whole Trump debacle has given too much fuel to the fire. It gave too much it convinced a generation of white people that
not just white
they
people.
it, it's a lot of white people, John. It's a
That has
lot of
nothing
white
to do with
people.
that. I hate that thing on the census where it's like, "What's your race?" You know, I'm
I
maybe
don't
I'm a little bit more racist than what the census is because it's like it puts all the white people in one group, but yet some people, especially if they come from the old world in Europe, there are definitely differences. You have Polish, Germans, French, people from Spain. Those are white people. You've got people from English, all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different life experiences, all different ways of doing anything. But for the purpose of this thing, like your color is what's important. And so they put that on there. And I'm like, what? But that doesn't like help like where people came from. It doesn't help with like,
just
anyway,
just to be
whatever.
clear with what I think you're suggesting is you can't lump any group of people together based on skin color alone. I mean, there is every kind of person in every ethnic group, right? It's doesn't
I don't
matter.
think that they should do the census by skin color.
Sure, I completely agree
Why
with
are
that.
all black people listed as black? Again,
I
various cultures, where they came from, especially if they're like a recent immigrant from Africa or the islands, or even from, American standpoint. They're not all the same. We're not all the same. So I don't know why it's there. Maybe affirmative action, maybe to make sure that there's placement or the groups of people. I don't know why they track that. I just don't. I can understand for like culture and jobs and stuff like that, but that's not going to be tied to your skin color. Like
I
if I
I
grew
can't.
up in North Korea, I'm not going to be the same person. I'm not going to be like I would not be part of that white category. Maybe I can move up in the dictatorship so I could maybe stay in the white category if I had those aspirations. But I'd have more of a Korean background, Korean culture. I wouldn't understand the Western side, but whatever.
That was another thing this assistant manager said to me. She was like, "We're going to be living in a dictatorship here in the next 2 to 4 years," and I'm like, "Did you not see what your president was trying to do?
Dude,
Like,
I'll tell you
it
what, Americans are
what?
soft right now. They're so soft. They don't understand. They don't
It's
understand. The greatest generation has like are dying off and they went through stuff and they understand, you know, what that stuff is. And maybe the history professors do and some other people do, but honestly, people are just soft these days.
I don't disagree with you, but it doesn't. This is what, like I said before, I think that the Trump fire gave people, and again,
I
I'm
want to write
saying
a
it.
book
You
and
might disagree.
I need to get this book titled, but it's going to be called The Age of Entitlement.
Well, that was like our first conversation of this entire podcast 23 episodes ago.
I might
It
have talked
was
about it then
an
too.
entitlement.
And it goes from the Zoomers, the Boomers, the Gen X's, the Gen Y's. People feel entitled to say what they
Everyone,
want, to get what they want.
everyone is being. It's ingrained in their bones in these days. But
Hey,
I'll let you write that book. But we should probably transition in this last 15 minutes to what's been entertaining us this week. So have you engaged in any films or
yes,
music, movies?
yes, and I'll even pull up that thing. But okay, so first and foremost, last night I had that coffee again
Uh oh.
for the morning. When I got up to make that pot with my sister till like bed at 1 a.m. I was drinking coffee, and I stumbled upon it was
I
on
watched
YouTube.
13 movies.
No, but I did play a couple more campaigns of that Iron Harvest, and I'm
Oh
back
yeah.
in the future. I've done the past, which is more of a stealth mission. So you have one character. It is this spy Russian lady, Rosviet, and you have to go stealthily, avoiding patrols and going around to get to this castle to find this secret organization. And I think it's really cool that it's not your standard RTS kind of style of play. Like you don't get extra troops or anything like that. It's literally like third person, it's top down view. You have to get your character through this, completing this mission just to get to this one extraction point or this uh, one point. And I think that's really really cool. Um, like it has different aspects of the RTS built into it, and I appreciate that from the people that designed that. I hate it when Steam's like, hey, support our. No, they had it in their game. Support our game, leave a review, and I was like, I don't think so. I don't think so. The other thing is, I stayed up really
I,
late. I was on YouTube, and
I just want you to know real quick. That's the last time that you get to talk about Iron Harvest until you beat it, and you can give a proper Iron Harvest review.
Oh, okay.
We can't let these game reviews stretch. I've been playing some Fallout 4, but you're not going to hear me talk about it this week because conversation grows stale. You got to beat the
Fine.
game, John. Then you get to
Whatever.
review the game. Just like Shadow of War. Whenever you beat that, you get to review it. Don't talk about it anymore. I don't want to hear another word about it. I see your wheels spinning.
All
So
right.
tell me
Anyhow,
about
so
what you.
I'm gonna
Uh
go
huh.
into. I was on YouTube and I was like, man, looking at some anime, some weird shows, and electric cars, and then I stumbled upon this, which maybe I live under a rock because I don't pay for Crunchyroll or anything. They have a second season for One Punch Man. One Punch
Yeah.
Man. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen any of it at all. I hear the second season is bad compared to the first season, though. That's just
Well, I'm
what I
two
hear.
episodes in. I'm okay with it so far. The first season was fantastic, and I really was like, this is good stuff. So I'm watching that again. I did stay up till 1 o'clock. I had to bang out 2 episodes. I really wanted to do three, but I was like, man, I gotta work tomorrow. Um, so wife's asleep, cats are asleep, me time.
Can you stop moving? I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Take it out of the bedroom.
So I'm gonna probably watch some more of those episodes tonight. But I really did enjoy the first season of One Punch Man. I think anybody needs to get into it, get 5 episodes deep, then you'll be hooked like me. And apparently maybe disappointed with the second season. But there's also rumors, Emil, about them dropping the third season at some point, which I'll definitely have to pick that up. Definitely gonna check that out. You know what I'm saying?
If I was into anime at all, I think One Punch Man would be where it's at. The only anime I have ever in the history of anime ever
Attack
gotten
on
into.
Titan.
No,
That's gruesome stuff.
it's the most obvious one, which is Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, I used to run home. Like I literally lived 4 to 5 miles away from middle school and high school, and I used to not take the bus home. Yeah, I used to run
Piccolo's
home.
gonna die this
I was like,
episode.
I gotta. Toonami's on, man. I gotta get home. I gotta,
Yep.
and you end one episode where they're just powering up. They're like, and then you run home, and that's where they leave off. And at the end of that day, and they're almost there. They're almost powered up. So then
It was
maybe by
the
the end of the week, you actually get some action going on that. It's the biggest tease ever, that show.
it
Biggest
was the
tease.
perfect flow back when I was a kid because Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I got into really hard when I was young. Um, Before school would start, they always did two. I can't remember what station it came on, but they did two-hour blocks of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was always episodes. Hypothetically, episodes 1, 2 was at 7 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock in the morning. And 8 o'clock was when I had to get ready and leave for school. So I would be able to wake up and I would watch episode 1 at 7 a.m. And then 8, I would miss episode 2. And then when we got home from school at 4 and then, or at 3 and 4, however it worked out, I was able to watch episodes 2 and 3. So the second episode was always a repeat. So they would go. What I'm saying is they would show 3 episodes a day, 1, 2, and 3,
And
but
you'd
it'd be
have to
one,
split up your
two, and then
viewing.
2, 3. So I'd be able to watch episode 1 before school, and then episodes 2 and 3 before after school. And then the next morning they would show episode 3, 4, 5. So I would, basically it just always worked out that I got to see every episode in
Perhaps.
sequential order. And
So
I loved that show for
Buffy
a
was pretty
time.
good. I didn't get up early to see that, so I would get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, so that I could check
Street
out.
Sharks,
No, Monster
Power
Rancher,
Rangers.
Monster Rancher.
Okay.
Our boy
Okay, I
Steven
can
has a
respect that.
PS2 version of that, and I need to just like take it from his crippled butt.
That was the game that you could put any CD into your PlayStation, and it would give you a specific monster.
Yeah. So Monster Rancher and Starship Troopers Roughnecks. That's what I
That
used
was a
to
good
watch in
show.
the morning.
That was
Yeah.
a good show. I watched that in the mornings too. That was one of the ones that took place of Street Sharks, and then you had like the Beetleborgs, you had the Power Rangers, you had the what was the other one that I used to watch in the mornings?
How early
Blanking on
did
it
you
now.
get
Oh,
up?
Digimon.
Oh,
Digimon.
yeah, but Digimon wasn't Monster Rancher. You know what I'm saying?
I I like Digimon more than Pokemon, more than Monster Rancher, all that stuff. I loved Digimon. I
I
thought it
did
was
like
dope.
Pokemon.
I didn't watch all these shows. It was a rotation. Like one would end, the next one would start because you didn't understand how like seasons of shows ran because even Nickelodeon was broken. It had like 56 episodes of, Clarissa Explains It All or whatever the case is. One time I wrote Stick Stickly and I said, Dear Stick Stickly, can you please show us an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark that has never been shown before? Because I thought they were just sitting on episodes and not sharing it with me. I was like, why am I seeing the same one over and over? I just didn't get it.
You didn't get it. And the last
So,
thing that album I bought, it
uh-oh.
is from Ash Nico. Okay.
Looking
Uh,
it up.
Demi Devil. Demi Devil Explicit. Purchase that. She's weird, but I like the beats she puts out there. So I've been listening to that. It's actually introduced me to some other artists that maybe I'll buy an album from them. So that's one cool thing about Amazon Music that I have with Prime is like maybe I'll catch something that I'm like, okay, is this album worth buying? I do, and then it introduces something in the same genre. So
I'm looking at this album and the
she
song
weird.
titles. The song titles are Daisy, Toxic, Deal with It, Slumber Party, Drunk with My Friends, Little Boy, Cry, Later Boy with the 8 L8R, Later Boy, Good While It Lasted, and Clitoris the Musical. I am downloading it now, though. Actually, it's downloaded. I'm going to check this out. You say it's good running music? I'll figure that out tomorrow. This is when I'm going to listen
Well,
to this.
maybe not your running music. So there's different types of running music. It's good for me to like forget and go. But if I'm like racing, you're talking like some cadence music, some cadence rap, or like Linkin Park, Disturbed, freaking that's 5K in stuff. I will tear you up with some Disturbed and some Linkin Park. Uh,
Ow, 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 ow. Oh, oh.
yep, yep.
Sorry.
A little bit of Skillet too. Monster by Skillet.
Skillet is awesome. Their
So
entire, I gotta look that up. I'll have to. They have a couple albums that are just through and through great. They're a Christian band, which is interesting at least.
man, it's the rock stuff. I don't know. I think people like putting genres like, oh, it's Christian.
Feel like a monster. Yeah. Um. I don't mind Christian music. I don't have
If it's
anything
good
wrong.
music, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna listen
I
to it.
don't.
Oh, it's Christian. I gotta listen to it, or oh, I'm not gonna listen to it because it's Christian. Is it? Is it good?
There is some Christian music out there, and I think this about anything. They just lean a little too far on the Christian side of things.
You know
I
what
don't.
that equals? Country.
Country music does suck.
Most of it, yeah.
Just saying.
Give me some
Country
old
music
school
sucks.
stuff.
Well, let me throw one movie at you then. This is a movie I watched a couple weeks
Oh, you
back, so I
got you
haven't
started
watched.
school and you got time for movies?
No, I've watched most of one movie, but I think
I'm just
starting
messing
next
with you.
week, I think you and I need to
You
jump
were
on
supposed to come
this.
out with a list, a plan, and a shopping list.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We had a plan of director I hardly know her, and I think we should start that conversation with Edgar Wright. Do you know who Edgar Wright is?
No, and I'm not gonna look it up because you're like, it messes up with the stream, which is fine.
Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Edgar
Just
Wright
tell
is a
me.
director.
I
I'll tell you
forget.
this first. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about a movie real quick that has nothing to do with Edgar Wright, and then we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do next week. And you're gonna have to watch a movie for next week's podcast. Okay? You've already seen it, I assume,
Well, then
but
that's
the
bad
movie
because I don't like watching things fine.
doesn't matter. The movie that I'm gonna talk about this week is a little film that you should have seen. Hopefully, it's called Tombstone.
That
Did you
sounds
ever watch
familiar.
Tombstone?
I don't think so. Tombstone. Was
Okay,
there a
well,
series called Tombstone?
I don't know. This is a movie from 1993, directed by George P. Cosmatos and Kevin Jarre. It stars Kurt Russell. It stars Val Kilmer, Bill Paxton. Um, who's the other guy? Oh, Sam Elliott. They're the brothers that move in to the town. Val Kilmer's not a brother; he's Doc Holliday. But it's the story of Wyatt Earp whenever they moved into the town of Tombstone, and basically Kurt Russell had been a lawman along with his brothers in previous towns, but they were trying to move away from that world. They were trying to get out of the danger, and basically they set up shop in a new and blossoming town of Tombstone. And it's a western from 1993. I don't know if you are, but I'm a big fan of current Western films, and when I say current, I mean in the last 27 years, apparently, because when I talk about um, Tombstone from 1993, it has to be, that far back. A current Western would probably be like the No Country for Old Men's and Hell or High Water movies like that. But um, this is a great movie. Um, if it wasn't for the 1993 curve, it would probably be a Gaga movie. But it's just the story of these brothers and how they end up getting forced into the position of lawmen, and then eventually, even though they still fall into the lawman category, they take on the red. I think they're called the Red Bandana Gang or Red Bandit Gang or whatever the case is throughout the town of Tombstone, who are a bunch of outlaws and gang members, and then they come in. They end up taking out, spoilers, one of Wyatt Earp's brothers. Um, but they seek vengeance and end up eliminating the majority of the gang. And it goes through the shootout at the OK Corral, which I think only like 7 people actually ended up dying, but it's a pretty popular shootout in that time frame. Um, like I said, it's a great movie. Val Kilmer crushes it as Doc Holliday. He's one of the best characters in film, and it's a very limited role. But he has tuberculosis. He's in the process of dying, but he's still one of the fastest hands in the West. And it's just a really fun Western film that I think everyone should see. So I just wanted to eliminate that from my list because I watched it so like I said, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point. I know I didn't go into too great a detail, but it is a very, very good movie, and everyone should check it out.
If you're gonna check out westerns, this is
Oh,
not a movie though. And
wow.
I've only read two of the books, but Louis L'Amour.
Uh-oh.
Louis L'Amour. I didn't think that I would like western books. But I remember reading this, and I think it was like high school or something like that. Somebody was like, "Oh, you like that kind of sci-fi stuff?" I think it was like H.G. Wells, and the teacher was like, "You should check out Louis L'Amour." So I checked out one of his books,
War
and
of
I
the
was like,
Worlds.
"Yeah, this is good stuff." So,
Of course.
FYI, if you like a little history, little western.
I don't. Um, no, I'm just kidding. It's good stuff. Now, like I said, what we need to talk about is what we want to do over the next couple of weeks. And what I promote is the idea that we both watch a movie and then we discuss it on this podcast. Not necessarily the entirety of the podcast. We can still do the same basic conversational piece. This week, predominantly, obviously, was the conversational piece about more of our lives versus what's been entertaining us. But the one I suggest that we start out with is the Edgar Wright filmography, which is a
Okay,
whopping 4 films. And I'm not saying you watch 4 movies between now and the next podcast. We do it 1 movie a week, and then we have our general conversations
about
otherwise.
that movie, why it sucks. Got it.
So, which is fine. So the 4 movies that we have to watch, because it's the only 4 movies that Edgar Wright has directed, it is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and Baby Driver.
Okay.
Have you seen any of those?
Yes,
All of them?
except for Baby Driver.
You've never seen Baby Driver?
No.
I am so excited right now. So what we'll do?
Because the first three you listed are the same movie. Well, Hot
No,
Fuzz isn't really the
Hot
same
Fuzz
movie.
is yeah, Hot Fuzz is a lot different. Specifically, yes. Actually, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. The reason I'm doing this
So
is
you got to
because
pay for that peak?
yeah, you do.
Yep.
You do. We're not popular enough to charge anybody else yet. I I love Edgar Wright. So today when I was running, I watched The World's End, and I'm assuming you haven't seen it since it probably came out on video. So it's probably been 10 years since you watched that movie.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
7
No, it's
years.
been a
I think the
while.
movie is 7 years old, but it's been 6, 7 years since you've watched it. I'm in the same boat, and when I watched it the first time, I generally didn't like it. I loved this. I'm going to give my. We'll save that. I'm not going to go into my opinions. But how long's it been since you've watched Shaun of the Dead?
Forever and ago.
Forever and ago. So between now and next recording, watch the movie Shaun of the Dead.
I can do that.
Okay, we'll go in order. Um, again, I've recently just watched The World's End, so I'll be a little bit behind you whenever we get to that one because I have not watched the other two in a couple of years. And we'll discuss that on the next podcast. Obviously, still engage in anything else that has been entertaining you, and we
Besides
will get into
ourselves,
all
right? Like
that
feeling
stuff.
yourself.
If you have enough conversation to fill up a piece of podcast about feeling yourself, then
I can, but
absolutely
we can't talk about it on YouTube.
we can. We can. You can say whatever you want on YouTube. You can talk about jerking your friends, jerking you, jerking your cats, whatever.
That's animal abuse.
But in the meantime, give us a little bit of that knowledge that you like to lay on us.
Man, I don't have anything. I should really start thinking about this stuff, but you know what? It's okay. Feel yourself. Just not in public or
Feel
around
yourself just not in
family.
public. So this,
I mean, you can if you want to around family, but you live in Utah, and that's where you need to stay.
oh, that got weird. This has been the Nobody. I even forgot what I was saying. This has been the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Watch Shaun of the Dead and have a good week.
And feel
Bye,
yourself.
and
Mm.
feel yourself.